Welcome to the Yeshiva Daf Shir sponsor Louis Nishma Sami Akshom Lev Asitchov. You're holding in Shavuos Daf Ches. We're going to start the Zayin with base at the bottom. Olamar. Yeshli Bein Zelavi Gimel Tumors. We said that the Brisa brought says a Chipar El Kodesh with tumors Bnei Yisrael. Do a kapara and Yom Kippurim for tumors. What is a tumor? So the tumor l'chura is a tumor. The biggest averis you have. Tumors of a dezara. Tumors gilu arayis. Tumors shvichas dam. That's a tumors. Says the Gemara. Hi, avidazara. Hechidami. What will be the case of a dezara? Right? What is the case of a dezara? Meaning, says the Gemara. Say hi, David. Says the Gemara. What's exactly the case that we said you have a dezar? If you did b'mezi, you'd be killed. Even shoygeg by carbon. Shoygeg, you should get a carbon. Says the Gemara, b'mezi v'lo asubei or b'shoygeg v'lo yisadali. I tell you, if you do b'mezi, we had no straw. So therefore, what happens? It's you. What always kapara? Kapara may be the carbon that you bring in the seiyun that you bring on Yom Kippurim. Or he did b'shoygeg and he didn't find out about it. So that's what we're talking about. Now, the Gemara goes on, the Chesed Udah, very similar. Kilo arayis nami echidami. Even mezi b'kato. If b'shoygeg b'karbonu, same question. And mezi has to be killed. Shoygeg has a carbon. So why should you have the kapara Yom Kippurim? So the one mezi l'as to be b'shoygeg l'isad like and mezi l'shoygeg you can't mechayev. It's very similar. Shvichus dami nami echidami. Even mezi b'kato. If b'shoygeg b'golosu. So there's one more case. You have here because we talk about when it's b'shoygeg you get golos. If it does derech aliyah, so then there's no golos. That will be the case. Now, very interesting, and this will be in the Shomach Shon and Nav, prepared on the plane, is that there is a big discussion that regarding, do we have a concept of Bezi Shamala don't punish until the age of 20? You know, it's a Gemara in Shabbos that Pitez on base, those are Yerushalmi, that says the Bezi Shamala don't punish until you are Bezi Shamala, not Bezi Shamata. That sounds like the Gemara. As long as we call it Bezi Shamala don't punish before the age of 20. So the Maharal, or Zoycha TV in his cave this morning, asked the question. He says, it's rather than say it clearly, but he mentions the Chacham Tzvi is the one who he brings the question. That the Chacham says what? Chacham says that whatever the case of, he brings a shot like this. When you bring korban chatos, why do you bring korban chatos for? And basically it's chorus. So if you have a kid who's, let's say, 16 years old, so he's dead. If you hold basically shal don't punish the age of 20, so the won't bring korban chatos. That's a shot of the Chacham. Because he concludes, Chacham brings the name of the Maharal. It concludes that there's nothing to do with each other. You have a chatos, even though there's no chorus. Even though, yes, an adult at the age of 20 will get chorus b'mezid b'shoygeg chatos, but between 30 to 20, so b'shoygeg gets chatos, even though the chorus there's no misa midei shamayim when it does b'mezid. So asks the Sofras Baneach. According to that, why don't you tell me that what he brings a raya for what Gemara? The Gemara is asking, what will be the case in Gimel of various Chamuros that you have to have this carbon in Yom Kippur? He says, maybe it will be the case where b'mezi you don't have Misa V'dei Shamayim. So maybe b'shoygeg you don't have a carbon, according to the question of the Maharal, and in Mela you have this carbon instead. You have some kapara, but you can't have the full carbon. We want to bring a raya from here that, sorry, I said, so that's a Chasefer. Chasefer wants to be right from here that there's no, that's not true. That the fact that Shema don't punish the age of 20 is a different agada, or maybe applies only to a specific case in the midbar. But today, of course, basically Shema punish also the old age of 20. A very interesting discussion. Okay. Says the Gemara, Omar Ma. Chol shosh tumus halol yesoy mechaper. Rabbi Yisrael gets kapara on these three. Tomud loima, that's kapara of Yom Kippurim. Tomud loima tumus v'loy kol tumus. It says tumus, not all tumus. Meaning, matzinu shichir kosu v'chak tumus v'tumus mikdash v'kotshov. Afkar tumus kotshov v'kotshov. It has to be a unique tumus. Something unique. What's the unique one? Tumus mikdash v'kotshov. So, Tivi Rabbi Yehuda. My chilek. What is the thing? What is unique about tumus mikdash v'kotshov? So what maybe the unique thing is the maisi oy boil v'yayrit. You have a special carbon called oil v'yayrit. It's not a regular carbon. It's a carbon which you have the asher brings a higher one, the poor, the very poor, but it has different level. Maybe it's aviduzor. My chilek the maisi sira will kivso. You have to bring the carbon that you bring is a seira and not a kizbo. Usually, korban chatos is a sheep, and here you bring a goat. A little different. We're talking about kula, which is make a. We're saying that chilek can make it a kula. Like korban el you're saying Ani doesn't have to pay so much. You can bring a bird, you can bring mincha, but here goats are usually more expensive than a sheep. So you're not making a kula, you're making a korban. Right, Rashi says if you can't, I don't know if it's the only option you have is a goat and it's more expensive, you have to bring it. So you cover the chumrah out of it. So you let this. Maybe the tomb of Beis is Mechaper Yom Kippurim is the tomb of Yoledis. The chilek. What's different by her? The Ma'aseh of Yerit. She also brings Olav Yerit if she's rich or poor. It says that it has to do with a chait. Yoled is not a chait. Because they not do a sin. Oh, very good. So that's the Gemara is going to put that. That's the shita. The Gemara right now says, I talk about the illusion of chait. This is not a chait. So the Gemara of Shir by Yochai Domer Yoled is not mechoitis here. Shir by Yochai says Yoled is choitis. Why does she have to bring a carbon? Because when she gives birth, she does a Shavuos, she will never give a carbon again. Michael, what does it say then? Shimon goes to Shidasai. Because if Shimon said you learn a different thing. Remember, what did the Gemara say in yesterday's daf? The Braiso, and then with base. The Gemara brought two sources to tell you that the tumas that basically Yom Kippur is mechaber tumas mikdash v'kosher. Source number one, which is Tanakamo, says because it says leman, that because it says the tumo unique tumo, like we're saying right now, it's unique. Why it's unique? It's a korban. Shimon said a different reason. Right? The Gemara said yesterday. And Rabbi Yehuda says because it has to be different. Because it says the chipah is a kodesh to the soil, too much the kodesh. Chipah kodesh, too much the kodesh. That's Hidash. He brought a different drasha. Okay, so Shimon has a different marker. So you're asking maybe you let this as unique too. You're right. Well, it is unique, and it fits the category because it's a chay too. But according to Shimon, it's not a question because Shimon learns from a different place. Says the Gemara, also you have reached it for. Again, a chait. A mitzvah is not a chait. So what do you mean? Like Bishwal Barakmai Doma Shiva Dvarim going boing. Of course, mitzvah calls for a chait. Michael, remember? So now they believe a korban lishtarur b'kol. So we know. I'll tell you what. The nega is kapara. What makes the kapara? The fact that he has tzaras. The nega. What makes the korban is just to allow him to go back home. The call is lav dafka b'kol means to go bekachim. The gears over here bekachim meaning kapara is the fact that he has a blemish and it's white and it's bothering. But when it brings a korban, that's not a kapara. What? Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. But all the ramifications of being mitzvah. But the korban is not a kapara. And that's why it's not only the same category. Payma Nazir told me the chilik, it's also different. The Ma'aseh Torah bring you has to bring birds. It's the kula. Right again, what's the limud? Limud is we're trying to find a tumah which is different. And as I said before, different in a way it's a little more lenient. It's a tumah, it's not a chait. What chait did Nazir do? Why is Nazir chait? Causing yourself to suffer. Michael Mima. So look at Shimon. It's the goal. She does Shimon. You learn from another source, not from the differentiation. Right? If differentiation, those should be included. So that was the more now dealt with the first source that you know that the Korban Seir of Yom Kippur was coming to Mechaper on Mikdash B'Kodesh. The second source. So the Gemara, Shimon Aimer mi Koymu Muchar Oimer Mechiper al Kodesh. Right? It says the Chipar al-Kodesh Mitumos Bnei Yisrael. That's the drasha. So the way you read the pasuk has a comma. The Chipar al-Kodesh. What is the Bichal al-Kodesh? Mitumos Bnei Yisrael. But for the drasha we're saying right now, Kodesh Shivitz, the Chipar al-Kodesh Mitumos, the Tumos of Kodesh. Any tumor in there, any bad thing happened to Kodesh. Shofik Kol Av Shimon. So Shimon is a good drasha. You know what this pasuk tell you? It's telling you that you have to do the same avodah, which is achas lamato, sheva lamalo, the same avodah you do inside in Kodesh Kadoshim, you do it outside. That says v'chipar l'kodesh b'tuz b'nei Yisrael. Chipar l'kodesh. You want to say that they have the same kapar. You want to do the same thing. Shimon ahu v'chen yasin avko. It says v'chen yasin lo ilmoyet. Whatever you do in Kodesh Kadosh, you do it on light. I would think, remember, Avodah Yisrael Kippurim is, you have a seir, you have a par, you use the same blood of the seir of par 3 times. In Kodesh Kadoshim, on the paroiches, and on the Mizbech. Who do you have to use the same carbon? Maybe you have to do a different carbon. You have to have Chenya says the same carbon, and you have to have the other person tell you they do the same avodas. So you both shook. Kavash. I say, you do it you learn from there both. Right? What it says, that's where you learn that from the same one I used before. So when you know, use the same carbonis. So I have the extra one to tell you that it's coming to the two as big as a culture. Right? In other words, maybe we'll be chaper any tumas mikdash. Right? The more I said before, if pishem kol chatasam, chatoim do the pshayim, apshayim sheinu bnei korban, chatoim sheinu bnei korban. Talk about saying does not have a korban. So well, mind you, yesh b'yidiyah b'tchilo, v'yesh b'yidiyah b'soif. Or question mark. Are we talking about when you have a deal with chil, deal with soif? How about carbon? Then it's there's a carbon, and we just said there has no carbon. It's because you're comparing to basic. Talk about that he found out right before shkia. There's no carbon, right? Does that have time to be carbon? Says the Gemara. Second, that coming out the mice. Because he can't bring it. So in the meantime, Yom Kippurim will be toilet. Kamash Roland, that's that. Yom Kippur is not talking about Yediyah B'Tchila, Yediyah B'Soif. It's talking about only when you don't have a carbon, which is Yediyah, doesn't have Yediyah B'Tchila. Doesn't have the knowledge before. Right? So that's what it is. I would think Yom Kippur at least is toilet. Toilet means let's just keeps it going. No, Yom Kippurim is not toilet. For something that has Yediyah B'Tchila, Yediyah B'Soif, which was he knows, forgot, and knows, so Yom Kippur doesn't take care of it. How do you know when you have Yediyah B'Tchila, but you don't know? So he doesn't know, he didn't realize he did something wrong. They say it will be toilet, which means it will be Megan Minister. So the Gemara, Minayin Maika Kashli. Meaning, so he says, How do you know that's mechaper on this? Mashra, it's maybe it should be mechaper something else. So what is it? How do we do with the pshoyin? Now that we compared shoyin to mezid, pshoyin that amnei korban, chatoim that amnei korban, and pshoyin that amnei korban lo ilom, chatoim that amnei korban lo ilom. Here we're talking say it has never a korban. Will never be a korban forever. Umayniu ein b'yidia b'tchila v'yesh b'yidia b'soif. V'yesh b'yidia b'tchila v'ein b'yidia b'soif. So yesh b'yidia ein b'yidia b'tchila. He never knew about it. He never knew, and then finally he figured it out. Will he ever? Is there any potential in the world that he'll bring a korban oil of Yehud? Answer is no. Why not? Because the requirement to be a korban oil of Yehud is to know, forget, and know. Here he never knew about the tumor, so you'll never get the korban. What? Even if he knew. In other words, a person who did not realize. Before we brought another sheet, he did this probably. Let's go to the main sheet. The main sheet is he did not realize that there was a piece of meat. He didn't realize this is tummy. You know, he went, he ate it. So told this is tummy. Oh, what did I do? Does he have idea with kilo? No. So you'll never be a korban because a korban is required that he knew, forgot, and then found out. He never knew.
What's the purpose again if he doesn't make korban if he knew at the end?
That's you have to get the Yom Kippur or see regalim. That's the seer that the Mishnah spoke about, right? You have seer. You have to have a different korban and more close the korban. He can't bring a korban. So I would say the Mishnah Gemara learned that you're comparing shogi to mezid, chatoim to pshoim. Pshoim there's no korban, so also chatoim there's no korban. Pshoim there's never a korban. A person did something amazing, he never brings a korban. So chatoim means something that never will have a korban ever. There's no shaykhs. It's impossible to have a korban. How the Gemara says, "Why knew ain't be he'll never come to a korban." But in the other case that the Mishnah spoke about, someone knew and forgot. He never remembered. So he's not going to bring a korban because he doesn't remember. We say Yom Kippur is toilet. Say Yom Kippur is toilet. So we say, what does it mean toilet? He won't get Yisur. So says the Gemara, if he won't get, but here, he will bring, if somebody comes to him and say, by the way, did you realize that 3 weeks ago you ate Kodesh? Oh, I forgot about yes. He'll bring a korban. Potentially, you can come to a korban. So maybe your Kippur won't be toilet. Absolutely, Bryce is telling you. So one second. If that's what you want to say, you want to tell me it's only for something that you did not know at all. So we'll never go to a korban, but we already took care of it. We said in the Mishnah that Sir Nasa B'Chutz Yom Kippurim. Yom Kippurim mechaper, it's something else mechaper for that. Sadak Ramina Nepuch Mepach. Maybe we'll turn around. Maybe we'll say that the Sir Nasa B'Chutz Yom Kippurim now mechaper and Ein B'Yidia B'Tchil Yesh B'Yidia B'Tchil B'Ein B'Yidia B'Soy. Ein B'Yidia B'Tchil B'Soy will be the Seir of what was it? Seir. Let's see, we're gonna do it. The Seir Shnasabi Pnim, right? Seir Nasabi Pnim Umechaper. So how do you know that? The fact is that you have the ability to get to Achatos. That's Yudash. Right? The kol chatosom that Rashi says b'ksiv b'shem umi chatosom. It says the kol chatosom means you come to say the actual word tell you it's something which you could get to chatos, including that, and that's what the Sisha has to frame is vechaper. If yeah.
So what's the difference? If the guy doesn't know the beginning, doesn't know the end, somebody will go ahead and tell him.
It isn't no korban, because the requirement of korban is doesn't matter. You have to be b'tchila. The condition of korban oil of Yored is that he knew. He knew before anything happened. Yeah. Says the Gemara. So so that you know it is included. I mean the Sir Shasifim is mechaper in it. So when it's kapel Gemara, why are you saying it's only toilet? Get a full kapar. A person who had an idea and forgot comes to Yom Kippurim, Sir Shasifim mechaper. Iksi michatosom ketikaomet. Hashta dichtiv lekol chatosom laanach daosu chachatos. Basically, it wasn't the same idea. It says the kol chatos meaning that you will be a chatos. According to you, will never go to chatos. Because once you go to your keeper, you won't be a chatos. But the Torah says the kol chatos, so mashra, you will get to a chatos. Torah is telling you, even if you keeper in past, you still will get a chatos. Right. That's what Rashi was quoting before. So what does the Torah mean? More finally addresses it, and right in front of us. What's the idea of Torah? I just said a kapar. Kapar means I rectify the sin is over. Na'mechaper, it's not. But here we're saying it's toilet. What does toilet mean? If he died, he died without an aveir. What do you mean? If he died, I don't even keep her. He has the actual miso. That gives him a kapar. If person did a chait, he needs to be a carbon. If he doesn't remember to be a carbon, in the meantime, you can get yisur. So as a protection, you have a kippur with mechaper. Seer nasa b'fnim is mechaper. It's toilet. Toilet means take away yisur. Alright. Osham. What? Osham toli? No. Osham toli is going to be it's for a case. There's not been mizbar. I don't know. I have to go check. Sure, maybe that's. But in this case, it's going to be toilet. What does toilet mean? Lagim and Yisrael. That's what we have. So here you see that there's a other over here on the side. Even a person does shaygig. He didn't do anything wrong. And he did because shaygig he's responsible. What was signed with one arrow, which maybe this will be the Shomach Shav on the daf, is that the Gemara says over here by Misa we have a din Misa v'chaperes. So there's no need to do the carbon. What?
Not in all cases.
What do you mean?
There are no cases where the Misa is not mechaper.
Oh, so that's a shayla.
The guy died, so he's bringing a carbon. The guy did he die?
Yeah, he died. We're talking about that. We're speaking about it. He died. What about the carbon?
You know what I'm saying? So no one's gonna bring his carbon.
Right. I mean, there's such a thing of the kids bringing the carbon of the father. Shayla says in kapar. Where it says mitzvah alright because they have no need to bring it. So this opens a very interesting discussion. Is there such a thing of kapar lamesi? Can I do a kapar for a mace? And what the Hartman bring is really based on the Reis brings is based on a Sevach Hasidim. That the by korbanis you say that once he dies, so everything you can get the misa merekas the korbanis won't do it. But there's such a thing kapar lamesi in other ways. What ways? Either the Hartman discuss it. Either pshat, let's say tzedakah is special. Tzedakah is unique. Or if you mechaper on someone who's alive, so we may like migo, you can be mechaper on someone who's dead as well. It goes to do only for the mace that you can't do. It wants to be some miraculous, and you can't do it. Interesting discussion. We'll open it up. There's bizyonis on that summers. Yeah, I don't know if it's a full kapara. Yeah, it's maybe the Am Yisrael. Could be. It'll be interesting. Interesting to think about. So stop over here. Continue from here. Beis Hashem on Shabbos at 5:50 p.m. Trip was